Hello yogis, welcome to your practice today. My name is Juliana Arce and I'll be guiding you through this foundational flow. I like to call this practice an everyday flow. It's one that you can come to every day. We'll get into a variety of different postures and especially coming into those foundational poses. Let's go ahead and get started. You can start in a seated position in the middle of your mat. Sit with your legs crossed. Bring your hands onto your lap. Elbows are directly underneath of your shoulders. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then release them back behind. Roll them up towards your ears and release them back behind. Do this a few more times. When we roll our shoulders up like this and then releasing them back, it helps to release some of that stagnant energy that gets trapped in the shoulders. Go ahead and find stillness. And feel the places of your body that are touching down onto the ground, your sits bones touching down. And now imagine that you're growing an inch or two taller through the crown of your head. Having that down to earth but divinely connected vibe going on. And tune into your breath. Notice how your breathing is for today in this moment. Can you draw in more oxygen, more prana, more life force? Drawing the air in through your nose. Fill all the way up. And exhale, let go. Let's do this 3 more times. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale, let it go. Good. One more. Inhale. Breathe the air in through your nose, through the back of your throat. Exhale, let it go. Encourage you to practice with your mouth closed, inhaling and exhaling out through your nose. We call this our victorious breath, our ujjayi breathing. It's almost like you're fogging up a mirror, but with the mouth closed. Let's go ahead and find our tabletop pose. Tabletop, stack your hands directly underneath of your shoulders, knees come directly underneath of your hips. Spread your fingers really wide and bring the thumbs in slightly. Elongate through your spine. Just like in our seated position, getting as much length through the crown of the head, but feeling the tailbone rooted behind. Inhale, head and hips go higher, belly squeeze down. Exhale, round in, chin comes into your chest. Energetically push your hands into the ground, into the earth. Inhale, head and hips go higher, belly squeeze down. Go ahead and flow this, going a few more times, going your own breath, your own pace. As we go through our practice together, just remember my cues are suggestions. If you need to modify or intensify your practice at any time, I encourage you to do that. But make your way back into a neutral tabletop. Inhale, bring your right arm up towards the sky, reaching out of your right fingertips, and now thread your needle. Bring your right arm underneath of your left. Right cheek, right ear comes onto your mat, and your left arm is stretching forward. We're here for just a couple of cycles of breath. Bring your left hand under your left shoulder. Inhale, rise up. Right arm comes up towards the sky. Exhale, release your right hand down. Second side, inhale, left arm reaches up, roll your left shoulder back, and now thread your needle. Bring your left arm underneath of your right. The back of your left hand is onto the ground, your right arm reaches forward. Breathe into the internal rotation through your left shoulder. Bring your right hand under your right shoulder, inhale, left arm reaches up. Good, exhale, release your left hand down. Sit your hips onto your heels and take your knees out wide. Reach your hands forward. And then release your forehead, tip of your nose onto your mat. And continue to reach the hands forward. So much so that your elbows are up off of the earth. Coming into an extended balasana, or child's pose. In child's pose, root down through your hands. As you inhale, hinge it forward, coming into a kneeling plank pose. Knees come together, tops of your feet are onto your mat. Hug your navel into your spine. Continue to push the earth away with your hands. Your arms are long and straight. And gaze is maybe right above where your hands are at. So we go through our practice, and you want to come into kneeling plank. That's always an option. So let's lower down, coming into our release down, belly, chest, and chin. Now inhale, come to a baby cobra. Baby cobra, tops of your feet are onto your mat. Squeeze your elbows together. Elongate through the back of your neck. Are your legs fully engaged? Are you squeezing through your quads, through your glutes? The tops of your feet are pushing down. See if you can lift up an inch or two higher in your baby cobra. Continue to pull the elbows back behind. Little to no weight is into your hands. Sit your hips onto your heels. Make your way back into child's pose. Child's pose, release your forehead down. Good. Inhale, hinge it forward, come back into your plank. In plank, lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. We slide our chest forward a bit in our baby cobra. Hands are still rooted down. Squeeze your elbows, and then pull your shoulders away from your ears. Good. Exhale, sit your hips onto your heels, child's pose. Child's pose is a great resting posture. If at any time the practice seems too strenuous, you can come right here and take a breath and just breathe. Root down through your hands and tuck your toes. Hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, look like an upside down V shape. Your feet are hip distance apart. And pedal out your feet, bend your knees left and right, left and right. Push your chest toward your thighs. Hands are firmly rooted down into the ground. Get as much length as you can from your sits bones to your heels. Good. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, shins hover. Gaze switches to the top of your mat. Feel your core begin to activate. Inhale, hips go high. Exhale, heels release back and down. If your heels don't touch down, it's totally cool. Over time, you'll create more space, and perhaps they will. But it's okay if they don't. They may not. It just depends on your own unique body, not how good of a yogi you are. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, shins hover. Gaze comes to the top of your mat. Do you feel your arms begin to fire up, your core begin to fire up, turning on? Inhale, hips up. Exhale, heels running closer down towards the earth. Root down through your left foot. Inhale, right leg comes up. And finding three-legged downward facing dog. Flaring out through your toes, and just pretend that you can touch the sky with your right toes. Bring your right heel towards your left glute. Maybe you roll your ankle going clockwise and counterclockwise. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, set your right foot to your right thumb. Left knee comes down onto your mat. Release the top of your left foot down. Push your hips forward. Inhale, hands come up overhead. You're in your low lunge here. Push your hips forward. Gaze comes up towards the sky. Biceps are by your ears. Breathe into your baby back bend. Exhale, release your hands down to your right foot. And now hinge forwards and backwards a little bit. Coming into your low runner's lunge and your halfway splits. And taking inventory. Notice how your body is feeling in this very moment. And tuck the toes of your left foot. And send your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, square off. Inhale, bring your left leg up towards the sky. Elongate through the left side, really reaching your toes up. Can you touch the sky? Tickle the sky. Bring your left heel to your right glute. Roll your ankle, going clockwise and counterclockwise. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, set your left foot to your left thumb. Right knee comes down onto your mat. Go ahead and hinge it forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Inhale, bring your hands up overhead, reach through your fingertips. Shine your heart up towards the sky, coming into your baby back bend. Exhale, release your hands down onto your mat. Tuck the toes of your right foot, send your left foot back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, heel toe your feet, taking little tiny baby steps all the way to the top of your mat. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, all the way up. And tiptoe, I guess. Have your feet about hip distance apart. And bend your knees a whole lot, placing your stomach onto your thighs. And then grab onto opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy. Your gaze towards the horizon behind you. Can you sway from side to side? But give your head a yes, no shake. And letting more of the tension out of your neck, out of your shoulders. Release your right hand directly underneath of your face. Bend your right knee, left leg straightens, left arm comes up towards the sky. You can keep your left arm reaching up or even take a half bind. Anytime I hit left arm reaching up, kind of a preference. Release your left hand down. Directly underneath of your face, your right leg straightens, left leg bends. Right arm comes up towards the sky. Either reaching your right arm up, rolling your right shoulder back, or take your half bind here. Release your right hand down. Heel toe your feet closer together. Big toe mounds are connected, little space between the ankles. Inhale to a halfway lift, get a flat back. Elongate through your spine, and just like in tabletop, from the crown of your head to your sits bones. Good, exhale, fold, release it down. Hands can come down onto your mat. Micro bend the knees if you like. Inhale, halfway lift, a flat back. Feel your spine growing an inch or two longer. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, fold, release it down. Gaze comes towards the horizon behind you. Good. Release your hips down about 4 inches or so. Slightly bend through your knees. Engage your core. Inhale, rise up, hands come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into Namaskar, into heart center. And slight tug of your chin, slight smile on your face. Use this opportunity to set your intention. Anything your imagination comes up with, what is your intention today? Inhale, hands come up overhead, upward salute. Exhale, fold forward, hands come all the way down to the ground, earth touch. Inhale, halfway lift to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, step it back, plank pose. And plank, stepping your right foot back, left foot back, and coming into plank. So plank, this is where we have choices. You can stay in your high plank. You can also lower down onto your knees. Let's go to a Chaturanga. In Chaturanga, we're at our hover, elbows are bent. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. If you're coming into your up dog, thighs are lifted, arms are straight, although you could have a micro bend in your elbows. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Elongate through the spine. But hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, take a couple of deep breaths here. We'll do that same flow going into it a couple more times. We call these our sun salutations, our sun A's. Inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low. Look between your hands. You can hop forward, you can step forward. Whatever you're doing, make your way to the top of your mat. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Drop your hips some, circle, sweep your hands up overhead. Upward salute. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. And step your left foot back this time, followed by the right. Plank pose. Plank, lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Good, exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Perhaps you're feeling your body begin to warm up here. Inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low, hop, step, or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back, plank. Right foot back, followed by the left. Lower it down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, shine your heart towards the horizon. Thighs are lifted if you're in your up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Now you can modify these flows anytime, coming directly into your downward facing dog. So that's always a choice. Inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low. Look between your hands, hop, step, or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Drop your hips, circle sweep your hands up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Fold forward, bring your hands all the way down to the ground, earth touch. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, hop, step, or flow back. If you're hopping back, land it low in Chaturanga. Good, inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Downward facing dog, that was our sun salutations. We'll now be moving into our sun B, adding in 2 more postures. Inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low. Make your way to the top of your mat. Listen for the pattern change. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring your biceps by your ears. Sit deep into your chair. Weight is into your heels. If you're nourishing your shoulders or your arms are a little sore, bring the hands into Namaskar. Feel the palm to palm compression there. If you're healthy and you're active and you're looking for more, and keep your arms reaching, and sit lower into your chair pose. Exhale, fold, release it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, hop, step, or float back. Going through your vinyasa flow or skipping it, coming directly into your downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, set your right foot to your right thumb. Warrior 1. Ground down through your feet, then bring the hands up overhead in your Warrior 1. Warrior 1, pull your shoulders away from your ears. And notice if there's anything you need to bring focus to in your alignment, keeping your body safe. Warrior 1, release your hands down. Onto your mat, either side of your right foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. You have choices. Downward facing dog or vinyasa flow. Lower it down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, directly second side. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, bring it through. Left foot to the left thumb. Plant your right foot down, 45-degree angle. Inhale to rise. Settle into your Warrior 1. Connecting into the space. Exhale, release your hands down to your mat, framing your left foot, and step your left foot back to meet the right. Downward facing dog or vinyasa flow. We'll all meet back into down dog. And take your time, there's no need to rush to get there. Once you're there, take a couple of mindful breaths, mindfully breathing. Inhale, right leg reaches up towards the sky. Making our way into a second Warrior 1. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open it up, Warrior 2. Warrior 2, take your stance a little bit wider and push down through the pinky side of your left foot. Arms are parallel with the earth. Gazes over your right fingertips. See if you can sit deeper into your right leg, but at the same time, keeping your muscles contracted. Flip the palm of your right hand to reach forward. Reverse your warrior. Gaze comes up towards your right hand. Side angle, bring your right elbow into your right knee. Left arm comes up towards the sky. Roll your left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Reverse your warrior. Right arm comes up towards the sky. As you exhale, cartwheel hands down to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Vinyasa flow or downward facing dog. Warrior dance, second side. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Warrior two, settle into your pose. Shoulders are pulling back and down, scapula squeezing closer together. Flip the palm of your left hand to reach, reverse it. Bring your left elbow to your left knee, right arm comes up towards the sky, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Moving back into your reverse warrior. Move with your breath. Exhale, cartwheel hands down to your mat. Frame your left foot. Pivot facing all 10 toes to the top of your mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Go through your flow or down dog. A downward facing dog, pedal out your feet, just paying mind to the space that you've created already. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior two. Warrior two, flip the palm of your right hand, reverse it. Gaze comes up towards your right hand. Bring your right elbow to your right knee, left arm comes up. Breathing as you roll your left shoulder back. Good. From here, we're moving into a triangle pose, straightening out through your right leg. Lift up through your right kneecap. This is a great place for a block underneath of your right hand if you like. Find buoyancy back into your right leg. Inhale, rise. Right leg is straight. Pivot the toes of your right foot forward. Toes are in, heels are out. Bring your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. Palms are connected. Lengthen through your arms. Roll your shoulders back, open through your chest. Lead with your heart. As you hinge at your hips, fold. Gaze comes up towards your belly button. Surrender into gravity, allowing gravity to create space in your body. Release your hands to the small of your back. Plant your right hand directly underneath your face. Twist and open towards the left. Gaze is up towards your left hand. You can even come into a half bind, bringing your left hand to the small of your back. Bring your right hand to your left ankle, pulling your chest closer and towards your left thigh. Gaze is up and over your left shoulder. In a perfect world, our hips are squared. Good. Release back into center. Left hand comes underneath of your face, straighten through your arm. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Roll your right shoulder back. Place your arm into the small of your back. Option to stay, option to grab your left hand onto your right ankle. Pull your chest closer and towards your right thigh if you're taking this option. Good. Unwind yourself. Pivot facing towards the back of your mat, towards your left foot. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Plank pose. Plank. You plank through your Vinyasa flow or downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through directly into your warrior two. Warrior two, flip the palm of your left hand, reach it up, reverse. Good side angle. Left elbow to your left knee, right arm comes up towards the sky. So from here, once again, we're moving into our triangle pose. Straighten your left leg out. You can tint through your fingers. Imagine that you have a cupcake underneath of your hand. You don't want to smash it. Roll your right shoulder back. And bend back into your left leg. Rise it up, warrior two. Warrior two, straighten your left leg out. Pivot the toes, facing towards the long edge of your mat. Hands come behind you. Take the counterintuitive grip this time. Change the hand that's on the top. Roll your shoulders back. Lift up through your chest. Big breath. Exhale, hinge. And create the space. You just be in the pose without trying to reach a destination. Experiencing the pose in this moment. Release your hands all the way down to your mat. And pivot facing towards the top of your mat. Your right foot is forward this time. Step your left foot in so that there's about 3 feet of space between your right foot and your left. Moving into a pyramid pose. You can use blocks underneath of your hands here to make it more accessible. You could also, depending on your flexibility and your anatomy of your body, have your hands down on either side of the right foot, maybe even straight for you. Over time, we work on straightening out through the right leg, but lift up through your kneecap, engage through the right leg. We're engaging the quad, allowing the hamstring to stretch. So even if your leg is bent, that's great. Just want to feel it in the belly of the hamstring, not at the top or the bottom, but more in the belly, right in the middle. Breathe into it. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward, scissoring through your inner thighs. Step your left foot forward to meet the right. And step your right foot back 3 feet behind you. Pull your right hip up and forward, left hip back and down. Scissor through the inner thighs, ground down through your heels, lengthen through your spine, and then move into whatever space is there. Check in with the left leg. Does it need to be bent? Step your left foot back to meet your right. Walk your hands back. Heel toe your feet to the outer edges of your mat, moving into a malasana, your low squat. As you come into malasana, just have your heels down onto the ground. If they're not, you can roll a blanket or a yoga mat up to make it a little bit more gentle. Bring your hands into heart center. Push your knees open. Elongate through your spine. The idea of our yoga practice is not to necessarily reach a pose or a destination, but to create space within the body today. You know, a lot of times we get fixated on reaching a certain pose, whether that's headstand or in my case, handstands. But what happens if we never really attain that posture? I switched my practice to just creating space within the body today and creating strength within the body today. Not worried about what happens in the practice next week or next year, but just giving it my all in the very moment. If there's a posture that you would like to come into here, whether that's a headstand, whether that's child's pose, whether that's crow pose, I invite you to come into it now. Even Titivasana. If there's a specific arm balance or restorative posture, even if you want to grab a drink of water, You're right here, just giving you a moment to experiment or take a break, whatever is needed. We'll be here for just another 30 seconds or so. You're at your halfway point here, so whatever you're doing, wrap it up. Coming back into a child's pose position. We'll all meet into a child's pose. In child's pose, sitting your hips onto your heels. And take your knees wide, send your hands forward. Have your hands wider than shoulder distance apart. Good. As your hands are wider than shoulder distance apart, roll over your knees, push your chest through the gate of your arms, lengthen through your arms, and then just pretend that your head and toes can connect behind. Thighs are lifted up off of the earth. Toes and head are coming closer and closer towards each other. And sit your hips back onto your heels, coming back into child's. We'll do that one more time. Roll over your knees, push your chest to the gate of your arms. Lift up through your heart center. Maybe looking up, looking back, looking down. Sit your hips onto your heels, coming back into child's. In child's pose, rise up onto your knees. Moving into camel pose. As you come up onto your knees, have your knees about hip distance apart and your feet hip distance apart. Bring your hands onto the small of your back. Pull your elbows close together. Gaze stays centered and forward to protect through your cervical spine. Begin to push your hips forward. Look up towards the sky, opening the heart towards the sky. Now look for the wall behind you. If you can see halfway down the wall, grab right hand to right heel, left hand to left heel. Push your hips forward, opening through your heart, through your chest. If it feels okay on your neck, release your head. Bring your hands back onto the small of your back. Sit your hips onto your heels and pause here. So we went into a pretty deep back bend. You can stay right here in the seated position or come into a child's pose if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable, a little bit too opened up. We will come into a second set of camel. In the second set, you're more than welcome to go deeper, taking the knees a little bit wider. So take your knees a little bit wider if you want to go deeper. Feet are still hip distance apart, so they're there to grab onto if you like. If you can't quite grab onto your heels, tuck your toes under so that when you reach back, they're elevated and maybe you can grab onto them that way. Also, if it's just not in your practice today, you can keep your hands onto the small of your back. This posture opens up through the front of the body. It's very energizing, helping us to, just find some more energy for the rest of our day. Push your hips forward, look up, look back, look down. As you're grabbing onto your heels, if you're there, push your hips forward. Still like you can almost fling forward. You're grabbing onto the heels and then rolling, opening through your chest. But breathe into it. Bring your hands onto your hips, sit your hips onto your heels, and just pause. Roll your shoulders up and then back. And bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, pull your arms long. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. And bring your head back to center. Left ear to your left shoulder. And bring your head back to center. Find a tabletop. Tabletop to downward facing dog. Going down dog, pedal out your feet, bend your knees left and right, left and right. And now bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. Moving into your Ekapada Rajanasana, or pigeon pose. Just allowing the shin of the right leg to fall where it's at. Square your hips to the top of your mat, lengthen through your spine, big breath. Good option to stay upright, option to lower down into sleeping pigeon. And finding a place to surrender, a place of softness. pigeons. Bring your hands under your shoulders, rise up. Bring your left heel closer to your groin. Your right knee, your right hip run one straight line. Bring your left heel into your glute. Grab onto your left foot from the arch side. And then stretch through your quad on your left leg. Good. If mermaid is in your practice, you're more than welcome to move into your mermaid pose. Wherever you're at, focus on the sensation through your left hip flexor, through your left quad. And slowly begin to release down. Sit onto your glutes, your left leg's out long. Your right leg stays into your inseam. Let's have the left leg out at a 45-degree angle and look and turn towards your left leg. And bend your left leg as much as you need to, moving into a Janu Shirshasana, forehead to knee pose. So bend your left leg as much as you need to grab a hold of the bottom of your foot. And now start to elongate through your spine, pulling your spine forward. Then tuck your chin into your chest. Forehead comes onto your knee. Pull your elbows down. Good. Inhale, rise up. Plant your right hand onto the ground at your right hip. Rise up, coming into a modified wild thing or dancer's table. Stretching from your fingertips to your toes on the left side. Feels so good opening up through the side body on the left. Let's go ahead and move back into our tabletop. Tabletop, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, bring your left knee now to the outside of your left wrist, allowing the shin to fall down onto the mat. Right, elongate through your right leg, square off through your hips. And what did you do on the first side? Did you stay upright or did you lower down into your sleeping pigeon? Do the same thing on this side. But I feel like I could take a nap here. So let's go ahead and move out. Rising up, bringing your hands under your shoulders. Left heel comes into the groin. And now look back at your right leg. Bring your right heel into your glute, grabbing onto the right foot from the arch side. Once again, just getting a stretch through your quadricep, big muscle on top of your right thigh. And then if you did mermaid on that first side, move into your mermaid pose. Mermaid, it's the same benefits. We're just making the posture pretty. So option to do that if you fall out. No worries, I fall out all the time. We're humans, right? Falling is part of it. Let's go ahead and find Janu Shirshasana, or forehead to knee. Have your 90-degree angle within your legs. If this right leg is cranked out too far, we don't come into the pose quite right, so just a 90-degree angle. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale, look and turn towards your right foot. Interlace your fingers around the sole of your foot, bending your knee as much as you need to. Once you have a hold of the sole of the right foot, work on straightening out through the left leg. It might not be today, it's okay. And then place your forehead onto your knee, bending the knee as much as we need. Swirl through your shoulders, bring your left shoulder down, right shoulder up. And pull your elbows closer down towards the earth. Then inhale, rise. Plant your right hand onto the ground of your right hip. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release it. And send both legs out wide, coming into my favorite pose. That's why we probably do it almost every practice, because I love this seated forward fold. All right, elongate through your spine, lift up through your chest, lead with your heart. Bringing your belly closer down towards the earth, but keep your chest presented towards the horizon as much as you can for as long as you can. Come into the place where you feel sensation and linger there. And then turn up your breath, using the breath to soften your body, to soften the pose. rise back up. Send your feet forward towards the top of your mat. Give your legs a little bit of a wiggle and a little bit of a shake. Letting all the muscle tension go through your groin. Bend your knees again a whole lot. Take your peace fingers and hook them around your big toes and straighten out through your legs. Elongate through your arms, pull your shoulders back and down, squeeze your scapula back and down. Inhale. As you exhale, fold yourself into two. Keeping your back as straight as you can. If you notice that your back is starting to round, ease out some, elongate, and then hinge back into it. So it's kind of a tweak coming in and out a little bit, trying to get that length through the spine. Over time, sometimes the stomach comes onto the thighs. If that's the case, release your forehead down, but still lengthen through your spine. Good. Inhale, rise up. Place the soles of your feet onto your mat. Scoot your bum towards your heels. Release your back all the way down. Find a happy baby. Happy baby, we grab onto the arch sides of the feet and then rock from side to side, massaging the spine and the muscles around the spine. Rocking side to side. And send your feet up towards the sky for legs up the wall. If you are craving some abs, this is a great place to put some abs in, especially because this is an everyday Vinyasa practice. So I'm going to give you a couple options. You can stay right here and legs up the wall. There's so many benefits to this pose that, don't feel bad if you stay right here, because you are giving the body lots of benefits to cardiovascular health and the immune system. If you do want some abs, place your hands underneath of your glutes, under your sacrum, and then lower your legs down to a 30-degree hover. So 60 and then 30. And pop up onto your elbows. Look at your feet and then scissor kick your feet, going right over left, left over right. Do this for about 15 times. I haven't been counting. I don't know if you are. Let's go ahead and scissor kick, or flutter kick. So going up and down, flutter kick. Working the low abs. Good. If you're still in legs up the wall, stay right there, enjoying the benefits of that posture. Do abs next time. And continue flutter kick. Good. And now pulse it. Are your legs contracted, strong, and firm? Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees into your chest. Grab onto opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. If you're in the legs up the wall, bring your knees into your chest. Grab onto opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. Rock from side to side. Keep your right leg in. Extend your left leg out long. Interlace your fingers around your right foot, or your right shin, not your right foot, your right shin. Squeeze in. Feel the pinch through your hip. Using the strength of your biceps, your triceps, your hands. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And now release the grip just enough to bring your right leg up and over the left side of your body. Your gaze will come over to the right as your knee comes over to the left. Begin to unwind. Bring your right leg back in. Squeeze your right leg in. Squeeze it in tight. And now switch sides. Bring your left leg in. Right leg releases down. Flex the toes of your right foot in towards your nose. Anchoring down through both hips, both shoulders. Take even the counterintuitive grip on this side, changing the pinky that's on the top. So we switch our hands and squeeze it in. We call this an active relaxation posture. Come into your supine twist. Release your left leg now up and over towards the right. Gaze is coming towards the left. Opposite direction as your knee. Yogis, unwind. Bring your left leg back up and over. Squeeze your left knee into your left shoulder. Now invite your right leg in to meet your left, grabbing onto opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. Give you a couple of choices from here. There's a pose that your body's craving that we didn't go into that is appropriate for this portion of the class. I invite you to go into that now. The other option is to come into an extended Shavasana. So if you're coming into a pose that we didn't hit in class that you're craving, maybe that's plow or Supta Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly on your back, go ahead and move into that now. Feeling like you just got everything you needed out of your practice today. Move to the energy. You're at your halfway point here. So if there's a posture that you're in, go ahead and finish wrapping it up, and then we'll meet for final Shavasana. Just another pose to, breathe together. And the Shavasana is the most important pose of the practice. It's where all the other poses are integrated into the body, into the spirit, into the energy. When you come into final Shavasana, just allowing for your legs to go long, your heels to touch, your toes to fall open. Let your hands come down beside you. Just shift around a little and wiggle a little in my final Shavasana, so then I work out anything that I need to so I can commit to complete stillness. So shift around a little, wiggle a little. And do whatever you need to do to get more comfortable. Once you found your sweet spot, connect to stillness. Focusing on the breath. If your mind drifts off into whatever, just allow it to drift off. Maybe reaching higher consciousness, connecting with joy, serenity. back into your body. Feeling the places that touch down onto the ground. Feeling the air on your skin. Start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And rock your head from side to side. Chin to the left shoulder, chin to the right shoulder. Chin comes back to center. And bring your hands up overhead for a good morning stretch. And roll over onto your favorite side, at the side of your choice. And coming into a fetal position. Allow for your arms to serve as a pillow. Taking a moment here. Connecting with that energy of rebirth. And renewal. Push yourself all the way up, coming into a seated position. And keeping your eyes closed or downcast as you wish. Hands come into Namaskar, into Heart Center. And bringing back into your mind the intention that you set for the beginning of your practice. Place your hands onto your heart. I have something very important to tell you. Listening to my voice and taking these words, taking them with you for the rest of the day. You, my sweet friend, are a divine being of love, light, and complexity. And you are perfect just the way that you are. You are enough. You are worthy. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Hope to see you tomorrow for some Namaste, sweet friend.